Hello, everyone. I think I'm live now. We're at a weird angle because I wanted to show you the very, very happy Michael bun right now. I just gave everyone hay, so everybody out, and Mikey wanted some pets. And he's shedding, so you can probably see his hair just floating in the air. But hello, how are you guys? It's Friday. We made it through another week. How's it going? I'm just pulling hair off of his butt. I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's literally rabbit hair floating around the room. I need to stop doing that. A lot of times when on Mikey, because he's short-haired, I have like a rubber brush that like the fur sticks to, not just letting it float in the air. It's been a long week. Everybody, I like that I just gave everyone hay because you can see everyone kind of, well, you can't see everyone, but there's a lot of munching going on behind me. Somebody said they're in the car right now. That's funny. I listen to live streams or just like streams in general at random times. Hello, Mr. Andy. Are you going to make an appearance? He's eating all the pieces of hay that I dropped on the floor that you guys can see all over the floor behind me because I wasn't being very careful. One of these days, I will have my cages all nice and clean before the stream so that you guys can see all the pigs and everything. But I am actually filming a cage theme for next week. So, did you guys just see that? That was the biggest piece of hay. I'm filming a cage theme for next week, and I didn't want any sneak peeks in the live, so I waited to pages again until after the live so that there was no sneak peeks of the theme. So, what are my bunnies' names? So this is Mike, or Mikey. I'm trying to look in the camera and reach him. This is Mikey, or Mike, or Michael Bun. And then hopefully Andy will make an appearance. He is over here. So you want to come be on the stream? You're usually the social one on the stream. I'm sure he'll come by eventually. All right. Sure. That's usually what the streams end up being, is me just answering questions. So go ahead and put your questions in there and I will just go through and answer. How old is Neville and Ron? So I actually figured this out this week. That's pretty good news in terms of how old he's having surgery, because he is having surgery. So he's not like super old or a senior or anything like that. So he should have a pretty good chance with surgery. But it raises more questions about why he has cataracts. So it's just kind of interesting. What did I do today? I worked all day. I work 8 to 5. And then I went to Joann after work, Joann Fabrics, to get a bunch of fleece because I had a 25% off sale on my Etsy shop this week, and I got a ton of fleece orders. So I have like 6 or 7 fleece orders to get sewing this weekend. And if you are looking to get in, it's through midnight tonight. So just wanted to put that out there. And that's about all I did. We went for a walk after work. We usually go for a walk after dinner. And then I worked on my website a little bit until the stream. That's all I've done. Let's see. Sorry, I have this problem every time. I don't know if it's my internet or if it's just the way like the screen is on my laptop. But it like takes, like I can tell when the chat is getting ready to move, and it like takes a second. So I try to read it so I don't miss anything. I don't have any guinea pigs or rabbits, but I love watching their videos. Thanks. They have a dwarf hamster and a betta fish. I also have a betta fish. His name is Arthur. But that's fun. Do I believe in bunny play dates? I think it kind of depends, because I think that they work well for bonding and seeing if rabbits get along. I personally would not just put my rabbits in with other rabbits just to let them play, because that is stressful. And honestly, like, I don't have any experience at all bonding rabbits. I just have the like knowledge I've gained from other people doing it and seeing other people do it. So I don't know a lot about like the actual dominance behavior that they have, or how bonding goes best, because some people want to do speed dating and some people want to do like the 24/7 method. So it kind of just depends on your perspective there. But really just like with herd animals that have a hierarchy in general, just play dates for the sake of like letting them play together usually is not a good idea because it's really just stressful. So I'm doing good. Doing really good. You guys might get to see an Andy sighting. He's right here. Come here, dude. Come say hi. You'll probably know that I am super allergic to Timothy hay, and I accidentally got a box of Timothy hay, a 50-pound box of Timothy hay. This is Andy. Sorry for the weird angle if you're just joining the stream, but I wanted to show off that he has lots of nice little bits of hay in now. To brush you. Have to brush you. All right. Can you guys hear everyone eating hay? There's Neville sighting. They come out now, so that's fun. Let's see. Oh, the reason I said the thing about me being allergic to Timothy hay is because I feel like I need to sneeze, and I just haven't yet, so that's exciting. I think there's a couple people that have said they're getting bunnies soon, so that's really fun. Oh, there's Andy. Perfect. Perfect background. If I could swap lives with any of my animals, who would I swap with? Oh gosh. I don't know. Any of my guinea pigs, I guess, if it was still me taking care of them. My guinea pigs live pretty spoiled lives. So do the bunnies, for that matter. The bunnies just do whatever they want, as you can see. Okay, so we got a question. My rabbit just got GI stasis. I've been giving him, I pretty much stop giving it once they're eating again. Because it's really just to keep their gut moving while they are not wanting to eat. So as soon as they are eating on their own, like a decent amount, if they're eating like one mouthful in a like long period of time, like if they're eating one mouthful in 4 hours, keep giving critical care. But if they're like just eating again and will just kind of like graze on hay and whatnot, you can probably stop giving it. And if you're not totally sure, sorry, there's a moth in here. How did a moth? I don't even want to know. I don't want to know how a moth got in the house. My boyfriend must be doing something with the door open. Ooh, it just landed on my face. Did you guys see that? What? Get out. Go out. At least it's a moth. I don't care about the moth. He's not gonna hurt anything. Sorry, I got easily distracted there. I didn't really appreciate that it flew into my face. What helpful sewing tools would you recommend? That really depends on what you're making, but I assume you're talking about fleece. So a good pair of like sewing scissors is helpful. A good sewing machine that can, you know, actually sew through fleece, sew through layers, because not every sewing machine will. I'm trying to think of Wonder Clips, or like just like the little sewing clips. If you look up Wonder Clips on Amazon, you'll get I do have, if you haven't seen my video series on how to make fleece liners, I have a whole video on like what tools and supplies that I use. So can't think of things off the top of my head right now for some reason. I sew a lot of other things though. So a lot of things come to mind that are not necessarily for fleece. So have you tried palm leaf bowls for your animals to chew on? Thoughts on them? The only things I've really used with like palm leaf bowls are like forage that comes in them, like already in them, and nobody's really ever like cared that much about them. So I think they're probably fine and safe. They're like plant-based, but my pets don't really if things are too hard to chew, my pets don't care. to be honest. Let's see. What are my rabbits' gender? They are both boys. Okay, good. I'm glad that your rabbit is back to eating and stuff. Yeah, if he's eating like mostly normal, it might take him a day or two to get back to normal eating. Just keep an eye on it. And if it like seems to be not eating again, I mean, continuing to feed him critical care is not going to hurt him at all. So you can keep doing that. If you're worried and you're not positive that he's still eating everything that you want him to eat, you can keep giving it. That's totally fine. Critical care is not going to do anything except for maybe give him a little extra weight, and that's not going to hurt him. Especially if he had stasis, he probably lost a little bit of weight. So you can keep giving it if you want. Okay, so somebody said they want guinea pig and do guinea pig smell. So definitely get 2 guinea pigs because they do much better in pairs. Don't just get cleaned every day, or it needs to be like spot cleaned every day, sweep up the poops and get out the like wet thing. It probably needs to be cleaned 1 to 2 times a week to keep it from smelling. So like animals themselves in general don't smell. It's the environment that they're kept in. I mean, obviously like horses have their own smell, and like, you know what I mean, like guinea pigs have their own smell, but if you just have a guinea pig and it's in a perfectly clean cage, you're not going to smell it. So that's kind of what I mean. Do you like hamsters? Yes, I've had 2 hamsters in my life, 3 if you count my brothers too. Me and my brother each had a hamster at the same time. Not like they weren't housed together, but like we each had our own hamster when we were kids. And then I had a different hamster when I was a kid. We actually almost got a hamster not that long ago, but then it got adopted. So yeah, I do like hamsters. What is my dream pet? So I get asked this all the time. So to say this the shortest way, because I know a lot of people don't care about reptiles, but I really, really want a chameleon because I've just always wanted one my whole life, ever since I was little. But they are a very high maintenance reptile, so it's not something you can just go out and get and give it a good life, basically. So my plan is to start with like a crested gecko and kind of like work my way into that, since they are so high maintenance and I've never had a reptile. So that would probably be one of my dream pets. What are my thoughts on gerbils? Honestly, I don't know anything about gerbils. I think they're cute, and I know they need a lot of space, and I know they dig a lot, but other than that, I don't know anything about them. Do rabbits have to get fixed, or is it okay to not fix them? My opinion on that is all rabbits need to be fixed. So with male rabbits, it cuts down on behaviors you don't want. So marking, aggression, destroying things, being very territorial. If they are already bonded with another male, they can fight, behavioral things. And with both male and female rabbits, it's much better for their health. Specifically for female rabbits, they are significantly more likely to get cancer if they are not fixed. So it's like if you have a female rabbit, I would say they need to absolutely be fixed. With males, it's a little more, people have different opinions on it, but my personal opinion is to get them fixed. Hi, thanks. So many people coming in. Welcome, everyone. Tips for new rabbit owners. Do your research and know what to expect. I guess that's kind of like a before you get rabbits, but rabbits are very much a lifestyle animal is generally what I say, because they aren't necessarily like a guinea pig where they'll just kind of be content to be in their cage. There's really, in my opinion, there's no cage that's big enough for a rabbit to be in full time. Even if you build like a large cage, unless you're building a cage that's the size of a room, free. Like they just live in our house like cats do. They hang out in here a lot of the time, but they can go wherever they want. Well, they can't go in our basement. They have to stay on this floor, but they have plenty of space. So just be prepared to like them to need a lot of space, them to need attention, them to need just like they need more attention than some other pets do, because they really do want to interact with you. They really do want your attention. They want to interact with them. So they're definitely not for everyone. And they are destructive. So a lot of people, oh, buddy, what? You guys hear that? That's Neville talking. Who are you talking to? I likes to just talk all the time. He's talking just to talk. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh, a lot of people don't expect bunnies to be as destructive as they are. And honestly, my bunnies have chilled out a lot, but they've destroyed shoes, phone cords, like anything you leave on the ground, they'll chew. They chewed up my work backpack. Him, chewed up my work backpack, computer chargers, shoestrings, the bottom of tables, the, like, you guys can't see it, but like this trim around the room, somebody's chewed it back there. Rugs. I mean, you just have to bunny proof their playtime area, basically. I don't have any tips for bonding rabbits because I've never done it. My tip would be do a lot of research and talk to people that have done it, because it's not easy. From what I've heard, it's like it can go really not well. So, not like, did you guys see that? That was adorable. That was really cute. You need your nails cut, dude. You hid it under all your fur. I'll do that. I missed that one. Sorry. You guys can tell I'm very easily distracted by my animals. I apologize. But yeah, I don't want to make it sound like it can go terribly wrong and that they're gonna like really hurt each other. But it like either works or it doesn't, and it takes a lot of time. If you do the like incremental bonding method, it's like 5 to 10 minutes for days and days and days and days. Like, I don't think it's an easy process, but prepare yourself and do a lot of research. But that's really all I know about it. I've never done it. My bunnies were already bonded when I got them. Do you ever catch yourself finding animals on Craigslist in bad conditions and thinking about rescuing them? Yeah, that's why I want to start an animal rescue. That's why I'm kind of doing all the stuff that I'm doing. I don't get on Craigslist anymore for that reason, mostly because it just makes me sad. So I can't take in all the animals. That's how we ended up with Ron and Neville, because they were Facebook advertisement, and they weren't in the worst conditions, but they definitely weren't in optimal conditions. So, I mean, Neville is having surgery in 2 weeks. They had lice. Neville has cataracts, which Neville having cataracts has nothing to do with his environment. I haven't heard back from the vet yet, but I'm fairly certain those are genetic, just based on his age and kind of what I've done reading wise on that. So yeah. Yeah, if you have, it depends on the situation, but if you have a rabbit and other pets, I would generally recommend keeping them separate, not letting them play together. Especially guinea pigs and rabbits. Rabbits can pass. Also, dogs and cats. A lot of people will say that I should not have access to each other, and they definitely shouldn't live together, because rabbits can pass a respiratory issue called bordetella to guinea pigs, and it's not good for guinea pigs. Like, it can be very bad. But my guinea pigs and my rabbits never have direct contact with each other. They don't share anything. I do everything with the guinea pigs, and then I do it with the rabbits. I wash my hands. So I've discussed it with my vet, and with them being at the height that they're on tables and the situation and how I deal with everything, I'm careful that that doesn't happen. But also, your rabbits have to be carriers. So if there was any sign of respiratory illness in the rabbits, they would immediately be quarantined in a different room. But people bring that up a lot. But then also have pictures with their dogs and cats with their guinea pigs, and guinea pigs can also get it from dogs and cats. So that's just something to keep in mind. Do you ever have conversations with your pigs? Yes, all the time. I talk to everyone all the time when I'm in here. No, I have never owned ferrets, but I've played with them a lot. There used to be a pet like store that was nice. So they had like ferret, like they would let you like interact with the animal. So I played with them there. What is it I'm running here? I'm not sure what the, oh, the other person was Jackie. I was like, I don't know who Jackie is. Yes, I have slow chat on because otherwise it's completely overwhelming to have the chat constantly moving. Since I basically just sit and answer questions. Can you train your pig to be a dog? I don't than others, but they're not gonna like follow you around on a leash. Training pigs on a leash, don't put them in a harness, it's really bad for their backs. I got a rabbit from my cousin. He is a lionhead and has lots of matted fur on the back of his neck. Do you have any tips on how to get them out without having to cut chunks of fur out? No. Well, I mean, yes, you could sit and be like, hopefully he's patient and try to brush them out. But whenever Andy gets mats, since he is a long-haired bunny, we literally shave him with dog clippers. Like we just clip him because it's too hard to try to brush that out. Well, I mean, with him, he's an Angora, so he's like the whole of him. But with a lion head, that's way less fur. You could try to brush them out, but honestly, if it was me, I would just cut him out and they'll grow back. So grow back a lot faster than you think. Like we gave Andy a haircut probably like a month ago, and he's already all the way grown out. So if it was me, I would cut it because it's just going to be quicker and it's going to be less time that the rabbit has to sit. I don't think you can get Lyme disease from rabbits or ferrets unless they have ticks, because I think Lyme disease is always only passed on ticks. And if there was rats on the top level of the cage and rabbits on the bottom, I would assume that it's not a big enough cage for rabbits, because all the rat cages that I know of, even though they're pretty big, are not big enough to have rabbits in them. Does your fleece bedding smell bad really quickly? No, because I spot clean every day. The door must be open, like something. There's another bug. I don't know. It's just a gnat, but how are there bugs? I think my boyfriend was carrying stuff out like through our garage door not that long ago, and it's like dark out, so all the bugs wanted to come to the light, and they're like making their way in. They're not like gross. They're not like mosquitoes or anything. There's a moth and there's like a gnat. Okay, anyways. Does your fleece bedding smell bad really quickly? So you have to use fleece properly. So I've seen a lot of TikToks lately using fleece incorrectly. So fleece needs to be properly prepared so that it wicks the liquid through to an absorbent layer. You need an absorbent layer. I've seen so many people just take fleece and you're essentially like not like, except for it's soft. Like it's not going to stay dry or anything. So have the absorbent layer and then have the fleece properly prepared so that it wicks, which means the liquid will suck straight through to the absorbent layer and the fleece will stay dry on the top. So that helps cut down on the smell if you're using it correctly. I use smaller pads in all of the high traffic areas and I switch those out more often. I spot clean every day, and I clean my cages once a week. So I don't have any issues with my cages clean. Tips for setting up a good free roam area. Make sure it's bunny proofed. So if there's things you don't want chewed, make sure to cover those. Make sure that there are like, think outside the box, because if you're like, oh, the bunny might be able to jump up on that, but they probably won't. They probably will, just because you don't want them to. Like anything that you think's gonna be fine and you're like, oh, they won't notice it. I don't really want them to go back there, but they probably won't. They will, just because you don't want them to. They're very good at doing the things that you don't want them to do, or getting into things that they shouldn't get into. So be very like, think outside the box, block any places you don't want them to be, make sure to remove anything dangerous, and then just make it fun. Give them toys, new things, hide treats, whatever you can do to make it like more enriching. Change the area around to give them new things to do. I just got 2 female lion heads last Saturday, and I was grooming one of them, and she bit me. What is your opinion on that? Well, if you just got them on Saturday, I probably would let them settle in for a little while. So usually when I bring animals home, I kind of let them be for a couple of days before I like really mess with them, so that they can kind of feel safe and like figure out their new home. Some bunnies, I would figure out like, were you trying to brush out a net? Has she ever been groomed before? Like, there can be a lot of things that go into that. Did your hands smell like food? So some animals, just if they've never been groomed before or they've never really been handled before, then they might think that something scary is going on. So kind of put yourself in rabbit's shoes, and you could have probably have been scary. Let me know if I'm still here, because it just told me it was reconnecting, and I'm not sure what that was about. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. That was really weird. I don't know why my connection would just randomly change, but maybe it did. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. I guess my internet maybe is slow. I'm not sure. It's the same internet I always have. So I'm not sure. Okay. Where was I at? What is I watched, to be honest, is 101 Rabbits. I watch way more guinea pig stuff than rabbit stuff, just because I have way more guinea pigs than bunnies. What else do I watch? I feel like I watch more rabbit videos than that. I don't know. I watch a lot of old pet channels, like that don't really post anymore, like Budget Bunny. She doesn't post anymore, but she's got some good videos on bunnies, or like Carrie's Little Piggies. She hasn't posted in years, but I love her cage themes, so I still watch them. Can guinea pigs wear Halloween costume? I mean, if you're just taking pictures, to me, it's just a waste of money, because your guinea pig doesn't like it, and you shouldn't leave it on for more than like 5 minutes. But to me, it's just a waste of money and really unnecessary. But if you're just taking quick pictures, then it's cute. Just get them a hat. Like, putting hats on guinea pigs is hilarious. And I think it's way cuter and way less stressful, because if you put a costume on your guinea pig just to take pictures, it's a lot more comfortable if you just put a little hat on or a bow. What is my favorite guinea pig hideouts? Mostly fleece stuff. Like cubes are my favorite. Or like snuggle sacks. Or like snuggle tunnels. They're like snuggle sacks, but they're open on the end. Those are probably my favorite. And then the IKEA beds. My pigs love the IKEA beds. They love to sleep under them. Tips on taking pictures of rabbits and not having them stress out. I feel like that's why he got eye stasis. I don't really have any tips for that, because I don't really do that stuff. Like, I don't set up areas to take pictures of my pets or anything like that. I just take pictures of my pets with whatever they're doing. I just don't. It just seems like a lot of work to me, to be honest, and they do perfectly cute things just in normal environments. So I would say, if you're going to set up like a photo shoot or something like that, make it quick. And then like kind of like work your way up once they're like more used to it. And I wouldn't do anything, like I wouldn't take them anywhere. Like, I've seen pictures, I know hedgehogs are different, but there's a couple hedgehog accounts on Instagram where they're literally just like taking their hedgehogs like to the beach or like wherever. I really want to do that. Like, it just seems very stressful on the animal. I don't know. I don't know anything about hedgehogs, so hedgehogs might be fine. Like, a dog would be fine doing that. But a bunny would not. Like, a bunny would be, because obviously, like Lynn and the bunny, that bunny is so used to doing that stuff. But don't just like you have to work them up to it. You can't just like when I took the bunnies outside for our video that went up today, I didn't put them out there for longer than 5 to 10 minutes, because they haven't been outside. So, well, since they were rescued, they haven't been outside. So you like start small and work your time longer. Don't just like do 1 hour long photo shoot and your rabbit's never done a photo shoot, if that makes sense. So let's see. Hopefully I'm not still blurry. What should I do to make my guinea pigs more comfortable when I pick them up? I've had them for a year and they are still terrified when I pick them up, but not too scared of me usually. That's just guinea pigs. They don't like being picked up because they're prey animals, and no matter how comfortable with you they are, being picked up to them means that like something's trying to eat them. So there's really like my guinea pigs hate being picked up, but once I have them, they're fine. So that's kind of just a guinea pig thing. Or so I haven't tried it a ton. I've done it a little bit. So Saskia from the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue has a video on how to very quickly tame guinea pigs, and it's super interesting. I'll see if I can find it and link it down below in the description box when we're done here. But it's basically like you pick up the guinea pig and you set it down but don't let go of it, and then you wait until it stops like trying to get away, and once it relaxes, then you let it go. And then you do that like 2 to 3 times a day. And then over time, like the guinea pig's like, oh, it's just how things are. So that can work. I've never tried it, but I want to try it. So I just haven't yet because I have a lot going on. You can also, if your pigs are like, you feel like you have to chase them and like grab them and it's scary for them, try to like herd them into like a bed, like a fleece bed, or like an area where it's easier to just scoop them up rather than like having to grab them, because that's a lot easier. Like if you can scoot them into a cuddle cup and then pick up the whole cuddle cup, that's a lot less stressful for them than like being grabbed around their middle. Let's see. What do you recommend as the initial setup when you bring a bunny home for the first time? So I would have all of their stuff already set up. So have like their home base area set up, their litter box, all of that, so that they can just go in that area and just live a week. Not like you can interact with them, but like pet them, don't be picking them up. Just let them chill, like do your normal chores so they can get used to your routine, talk to them, get them familiar with you. You can like let them start sniffing your hand and stuff, but I wouldn't like do anything like I wouldn't immediately try to like clip their nails within the first couple days or anything like stressful like that. I would just let them relax a bit and settle in. And then from there you kind of just get them used to your routine, start working on bonding with them, and kind of go from there. That's what I did, at least when I brought my buddies home. And then when I first brought my bunnies home, they did have like a cage area, and I left them in that cage for about like 12 to 24 hours so they could kind of settle in and know that was their space before I let them into like the room. And then once they were comfortable, like knowing that was their space, their cage, then I let them into the room to explore. And then they kind of learned that the room was their space. So I didn't kind of just like, my bunnies didn't immediately have the whole house, because that would like, they could go hide somewhere and not want to come out and you not be able to get to them, if that makes sense. So I would like start them in a smaller area and get them more familiar with their space. Let's see. What are the best treats for bunnies? So that's really going to depend on what your bunny likes. My bunny's favorite treats are bananas by far. See, did you see that? He put his ears up when I said banana. He didn't do it the second time, but Andy's very smart. He knows what I'm saying to him. I mean, obviously not all the time, but like he knows the word no. He knows his name. So he knows the word banana. He's ignoring me now. He's literally ignoring me now. Hi, talking about you. Do you have oh my gosh, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. Myxomatosis in your area? It's bad where I live, but I'm not sure about you. There may be a vaccine in your area. I have never heard of that, so I'm going to say no. And there's no vaccines for anything for bunnies in my area. except for maybe rabies, but that's not a thing people do. So I think I saw your comment pop up earlier, and I don't know if it disappeared or if you deleted it, but I just like saw the like beginning of it, and I Googled it, and it looks like it's pretty much only on the West Coast of the United States. So I don't know that that's something that is really an issue where I live. The thing that I've been watching more for is RHDV. No, RHVD. Can't talk. RHVD, which is rabbit hemorrhagic virus disease virus. DV, yeah, disease virus, because it sounds fake to me. Rabbit hemorrhagic disease virus is what it's called, and it's super deadly. But I'm actually writing a blog post about it right now. You can find information about like the U.S. Department of Agriculture website or like House Rabbit Society, but you really only need to worry about it if you are in an area where it is right now, or if it's getting close to you. So you can do some research about it. There's an interactive map that shows what states it's in, and it's not in my state right now, because I went back and forth on mentioning that in my video. I would not be going outside. So I just wanted to mention that. Let's see. Are there any good handmade toys for bunnies? Yeah, so pretty much anything that a bunny can throw or play with. So I've taken like toilet paper rolls and like put hay in them. What else have I done? I can't even think of things, but a lot of just like cardboard or paper. My bunny's favorite toy is paper. Just packing paper or brown paper that comes like in an Amazon package. It's their favorite thing. They just shred it into little tiny bits and leave it all over the place. Have you ever took the piggies outside? I have not taken, I don't think, the girls maybe have been outside in the past. I can't remember. But none of the others have, but I am planning on, like, we're planning on giving some of them outdoor time this weekend now that it's cooled off, now that we have the enclosure to do that. Let's see. Have you ever had to inject water into one of your rabbits for GI stasis? What? Lily got all excited and she got Junebug riled up. Do you mean like syringe feed them water? Because yes, I've done that. If I have a pet that is being syringe fed critical care, I always also syringe feed them water. If you mean like IV, I take them to the vet if they need something like that. I have never done my own IV or anything like that. I've only had stasis with my rabbits one time, and it was Mikey. And we didn't even have to take him to the vet because the vet was already closed, and we got an appointment for first thing the next morning because he was still like kind of eating and it wasn't super serious, but he was eating fine by the next day. So, yeah, so I did Google that illness. It basically sounds like bunny malaria. They get bit by a mosquito. There's not mosquitoes here right now. That's why like it's cooled off now. So there's really not like the summertime bugs as much. There are some, but it's not. I don't like to put, well, I haven't had the ability to take the animals outside before now, but I don't like it to be too hot or like very sunny or like humid. I like the fall or the early or like late spring because it's warm enough and it's usually breezy and nice and there's not like a lot of bugs yet and they can just have like a kind of nice fresh air time. So should we buy piggies from a pet store or breeder? I've heard some debate about them. My personal opinion is I do not buy anything from pet stores that sell animals. I don't buy animals from pet stores and I don't buy anything from them. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not like trying to shame anybody that buys from pet stores. Believe me, I know that there's no other place for a lot of people to get stuff, and that's why pet stores exist, so that you can get your pet supplies. So that's just my personal thing that I do. I would say look for guinea pigs that are being rehomed. there are so many guinea pigs that need new homes, whether they're being rehomed on Facebook, Craigslist, guineapigfinder.com, Facebook groups. My Humane Society usually has guinea pigs. I think they have 4 right now. I would look at any place that you can adopt before buying from someone. And if you go the route of a breeder, do your research on the breeder and make sure that they are an ethical breeder that knows what they're doing, because you could end up with poorly bred Texels like mine are. I rescued mine, but they are not well bred. And some breeds that are not well bred, if they've been like backyard bred, Texels now have a lot of issues with having higher rates of like uterine cancer or ovarian cysts, because that the genes they were bred for with their long hair has turned into other issues. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I would always look for pigs that need rehomed or a new home rescue situation before I bought animals. What do you recommend to save money on hay but make sure your bunny eats it? Because I bought my bunny's hay from a farmer and he refuses to eat it. Make sure it's good quality, and honestly, bunnies can just be picky. I would try some different brands and find which one they like, and then sometimes you just have to go with that. But it can depend on what cut it is. It can depend on a lot of things. So saving money on hay can be hard, because I have people tell me all the time that I should just get hay from a farm, but there's literally no Timothy hay or good quality orchard grass where I live, because it's cattle and horses, and where I live it's not performance horses, and when you don't have like show horses or performance horses, a lot of people are fine with feeding alfalfa hay, so there's a lot of alfalfa hay. So I just can't find it. So I get Small Pet Select because it's good quality every time, and I know what I'm getting. I don't know if that was that helpful with saving money. Bunnies can be picky, and hay is such an important part of their diet. It's kind of something that just whatever you can get them to eat. Let's see. We recently added a third piggy to our herd, and they were fine for about 3 weeks. Suddenly, one of the original piggies and the newest pigs can't stand to be near each other. We have since separated them. In your experience, what are the chances we can successfully bond them later? It kind of depends on the situation. How did you bond them in the beginning? And then, like, did they draw blood? Or is one just bullying the other? Can kind of depend. And what gender are they? Because if it's 3 males, that's probably not going to work. I've had a ton of people message me about adding males to their male pairs lately, and that, I mean, it can work. There are some people that have that, but if you think about a herd, there's usually not more than 1 or 2 males. But to kind of answer, like, kind of just go off what you put there, if they haven't drawn blood and it's maybe just like a bullying issue, then they could possibly, like, if you did like a good long bonding session in a neutral area, they might rebond. But it kind of just depends on the pigs. Sorry, I don't know how helpful that was either. Yes, there are a ton of piggies being rehomed because of COVID, and rabbits. It's a little ridiculous. Mikey's head's tilted because he had an ear infection when he was younger, and it caused a permanent head tilt. I actually have a whole video about it. I don't know how old that video was, but it wasn't too long ago, maybe a couple months. That goes way more in depth, but basically that's just how he is now. It doesn't affect him, but he's just tilty. Okay, so update on the bonding. They are females. We introduced them in a neutral area for a few hours. Our largest piggy did bite the newbie's nose and drew blood. Usually, well, I would say usually the general rule, but I also agree with like the advice that's usually given on that. And if a pig draws blood, then they need to be separated and they can't go back together, because that means that they're willing to fight for their space. And just to put it out there, I saw somebody said to somebody else on something, it might have been sent to another YouTuber and they told me about it. I don't remember. But somewhere I saw somebody say that if you have male guinea pigs and female guinea pigs in the same room, like a pair of males and a pair of females in the same room, the males will fight to the death over smelling the females, and that is not a thing. I don't know where somebody got that from. Smelling females can cause male piggies to argue more, and if they already are like shaky when it comes to their bond, it can cause them to fight. But I don't think any domestic guinea pigs will fight to the death. And you would stop that also. So I don't really know where they were going with that, but they're not going to fight to the death. Guinea pigs are prey animals. Even if they're fighting other guinea pigs, they're going to eventually just stay away from each other. So if you have male and female guinea pigs, you can keep them in the same room. My males are on this side of the room. My females are on this side of the room. Except for Johnny. Johnny's with June. So, my favorite thing about guinea pigs. I get asked this question a lot, and I feel like I never have a good answer. I think just like their little personalities. Well, they're little pigs, but they have big personalities, and I think that's fun. I just like their care too. I just like taking care of them. They're just fun little things. Johnny Pig is out right now, like asleep. Fully asleep. Ooh, have fun in your online class. Thanks for joining my stream. Hopefully that answer was helpful. I don't know how helpful it was, but you can message me if you want more help on that. Kind of give you a better advice with better background. Wow. Did I hit everyone? Did I get all the questions? It never happens. Well, cool. Oh gosh. I found a litter of 5 pigs on the side of a road and I took them home. That was last night. I think they're about 5 weeks old. What would be recommended size for a cage? If you think they're 5 weeks old, you need to separate the males from the females. And if you found them like that, I would take them to the vet and make sure like the females are probably pregnant. Female guinea pigs can get pregnant at 3 weeks old, I think. They need to be separated at 3 weeks old. So if you think they're that old, they need to be separated by gender. And a good size for so I would separate the males and the females if you haven't already. And then for baby guinea pigs, it's a little trickier because a lot of the standard, like don't use standard CNC grids with baby guinea pigs unless you like put coroplast all the way up, because baby guinea pigs can get their head stuck in the squares. Or use like the Cavi brand ones that are like the baby mesh. But generally a good cage size for 2 guinea pigs is a 2x4. But if you have baby guinea pigs, you could probably put like one set of them in a 2x3 and one set in a 2x3 because they're small enough that, like, while they're babies, you could do that. And then as they got older, they would need bigger area. Can guinea pigs use water bowls? Yes. A lot of people actually recommend water bowls over water bottles because it's a more natural way for them to drink. I'm actually planning on getting heavy dishes for all of my cages and giving everybody a water dish along with the water bottle so that they always have fresh water. But I want to see if they like the water bowls because I know the water bowls are going to get dirty, but so I want them to have a water bottle, but I want to see if they like the water bowls. Because like if you guys watch like Austin, the pig room, he gave, like, I know specifically one of his pigs, Vision, just like only drinks out of a water bowl now. He just really loved his water bowl, so I just think that's really interesting. I've seen stuff about it in the past, but it never was something that was talked about a ton. So I want to try it and see what my pigs think. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze probably. I'm sorry if I do. I've had to sneeze like the whole time. Okay. Let's see. What do you recommend for my piggies to open up to me? I've had them for about 2 months now, and they're always hiding. And most of the time, run if I get close to the cage. They're 10 weeks old. I would do a lot of time just like sitting and talking to them for one. Sitting where they can see you and kind of just get used to you being there and talking to them. And just sit. Don't like try to touch them or anything. Just sit and talk to them. And then I would do things like try to hand feed little bits of lettuce or whatever their favorite snack is so that they get used to your scent. And what else do I do to get new pigs warmed up? Honestly, babies are also just a little flighty, so they'll be a little timid and fast. But really, it's just getting them used to you. So just sit near the cage where they can see you, just talk to them. Like, you could watch YouTube videos, anything that like kind of makes them sound, but talk to them sometimes too, so they get used to your voice and just kind of get them used to your presence. And then something else that, because a lot of my pigs, since they're up on tables, I'm like reaching down onto like towards them. That's where the hand feeding comes in, because then it's not like reaching down over their head like you're gonna grab them. It's more of like, oh, I'm at your level with this piece of lettuce, and they get used to kind of your hands being in the cage, if that makes sense. So hopefully that's helpful. How do you do free roam time with the guinea pigs? Normally I just either use a playpen, I have a big playpen for them, or I'll block off part of a room, like obviously not this room, the bunnies are in here. I don't use any space that the bunnies use really. I'll use like our living room because the bunnies don't really go in there, but I don't use bunny space, and I just set up a playpen or set up an area that's kind of blocked off, and just same thing I do with the bunnies, make it interesting, give them toys and hide treats and new things to sniff and play. A lot of times they just hide or they'll take a nap in the corner, but at least they get the option to run around if they want. Also, I have 3 rabbits and they like to chew, but everything I get they don't use. What should I get? My rabbits are the same way. I have like all these toys hung up on their gate, and I have toys for them, like I have wood for them to chew, and they don't use these things. The main thing that they use as their toy is packing paper. I mentioned that earlier. They just literally have a pile of packing paper back there, and they love to shred it into little bits. So that's their favorite toy. Did you guys hear that? Sorry, gosh. Not sure what happened there. Somebody rumbled at me though. They didn't like my coughing. Losing my voice from talking for an hour, I guess. But somebody, when I coughed, the room got real quiet, and then somebody rumbled at me. I literally have been talking for an hour though. It's 56 minutes. Hopefully that was helpful. So we have a bonding update. If you want to message me also about it, I can give you like more specific advice also. So if you find me on Instagram, or you can email me, I can give you like more specific to your situation, because sometimes like trying to add piggies to bond can escalate quickly if you don't set it up properly or like take into consideration the personalities of the pigs. So that's definitely a good thing, so that one's not alone though. So if you want to message me, I can totally do that, so that way you don't have to miss your class, if that helps. It's hard to know if they would bond without trying it, and then you could be stuck with another single pig. That's kind of what's happened with like Autumn. She ended up, well, Waffles ended up being a boy, not a girl. But if you guys watch Autumn's channel, but it can escalate quickly if they don't bond. So like with Georgie, you guys can't see Georgie, I'm not pointing at anyone. I was very particular about waiting for the right pig for Georgie so that I was pretty sure they would bond. So that's kind of like, I knew Georgie's personality because I'd had him. He was alone for a year because I was like, Georgie's a strange pig. He's got a very like particular personality. So I didn't want to just get any guinea pig because he's like submissive, but not like, it's very, he's a very like unique guinea pig when it comes to his like personality. So I knew we needed a pig that would like be dominant over him, but wouldn't push him around. So I kind of went based off of his personality, and I waited until I could know the personality of the pig that I was getting. Or you could do like what Austin did on the pig room, and he set it up so that like if the situation didn't work out with the pig he was trying to bond, then he could return it to the previous owner. So you could try to figure out a situation like that as well. I also love Autumn's channel and Austin's channel, and like so much. Like I watch so many guinea pig channels. Okay, I would make sure to separate the males and the females from each other so that you don't end up with a whole crap ton of babies. And then, honestly, with babies, you can get away with smaller cages until they get a little bit bigger. Just because sometimes it's not safe for them to have, I'm not saying it's not safe for them to have a big cage, but like if all you have is these grids and you can't cover them, like you could cover them with fabric, you could cover them, I've seen somebody cover them with pillowcases, but don't just give them these grids because they can get their heads stuck. I have one male guinea pig. He was attempted to be bonded, but it's not work. He's aggressive and territorial over his food. Do you think he could ever be bonded? Probably. Most guinea pigs are territorial over their food. So that could just be a matter, like again, I'm pointing at a cage you guys can't see. Georgie and Jellybean each have their own things. So all of my cages have one water bottle per pig, but Jellybean and Georgie each have their own pellet dish. I put a pile of veggies on one side, a pile of veggies on the other side. Like they don't share a dish or anything like that because they're both males and they're just kind of territorial over their food and they'll push each other away. And that way they have like another place to go eat. And I have a hay bag on one side of the cage and a hay bag on the other side of the cage. But you might be able to be bonded, especially if you try with like a baby. Like if you could find a baby pig, usually adult pigs bond, like more likely to bond with a baby because a baby is always going to be submissive to an adult. Though then you can run the risk of when they go into kind of that like hormonal stage, they can try to test the boundaries a bit, but in general, a baby bonds well with an adult, but it really depends on the particular pig. And sometimes like they seem aggressive with some pigs and they're not aggressive with others, because I haven't had any bad bonding really. I mean, I've had bonding that hasn't worked, but I've never had dangerous bonding. Well, I don't let it get to that point. Because I can tell. I've done bonding quite a bit now. Or like quite a few sessions. So I can kind of tell pretty quickly if it's actually not going to work. And you know your pig's personalities. So like I tried to put, which this is a rare situation. But I tried to put Georgie with Johnny and June at one point, which is 2 males and a female, which normally does not work. But Johnny is the most gentle, laid back pig ever, so I thought maybe it would work. And honestly, it was June that wasn't okay with it. So I knew that wasn't going to work as soon as June started like getting a little bit testy towards Georgie and Georgie was running away. I knew it wasn't going to work. Just because I knew Georgie's personality and I knew June's personality, and I knew it was going to end up in them fighting. So all right. Well, the questions have kind of died out, and we're about at an hour. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in. But we can be good with doing an hour if you guys are good with that. And if you guys have like questions just on a regular basis, you can always DM me on Instagram. I respond to all my DMs. I respond to all of my YouTube comments. I don't respond to all of my emails, but if you send me an email with a question, I will respond. So it might not be immediately if you email me, but I do respond if you email me a question. But Instagram, I'm on Instagram pretty much all day. So if you like want to interact with me like on a daily basis, you can DM me, or I post on stories all the time. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you don't. And I also have a Facebook page, which a lot of people don't know, so I don't talk about it, but I do have a Facebook page if you want to follow me there. It's just the Tiny Herd. Could you post a day in the life with the pigs? I can try, but usually I'm not home. I can film it on a weekend and kind of just do a day with the pets, but what is a cheap but good litter for guinea pigs and rabbits? Are pine pellets okay? You can use kiln-dried pine pellets are okay. Make sure they're kiln dried and make sure that they don't have a ton of dust or anything. If you're going to use those, honestly, if it was me, I would get them from Small Pet Select because they're very particular about their bedding. My favorite bedding for guinea pigs and rabbits is paper-based bedding, whether you use Small Pet Select or Carefresh or I think there's other brands I can't think of off the top of my head, but I really like paper-based bedding because I don't have to worry about it having anything weird in it, and it's absorbent, and it it's easy to find, and it's not that expensive. What vegetables do you feed the pigs on a daily basis? So daily, the pigs get green leaf lettuce or red leaf lettuce, but usually it's green leaf lettuce. Bell pepper. They get carrots or cucumber for their lunchtime snack, and they each get a cherry tomato every day. And don't just start giving your guinea pigs cherry tomatoes every day. Tomatoes are very acidic. Like, you probably know if you've ever eaten like a lot of tomatoes at one time, they'll leave like sores in your mouth because they're really acidic. If you do that to a guinea pig, it'll do the same thing. Like, they'll eat it, but it'll give them sores on their mouth. So if you've never fed tomatoes before, I would feed like 1 a week and then work up to like 2 a week. You don't have to feed them every day. My pigs just really like them, and they have a lot of vitamin C in them. So that's why I feed them every day. And no, they're not going to kill your guinea pig. I've had multiple people tell me that feeding tomatoes every day and feeding lettuce every day is dangerous. And no, it's not. There's a Facebook group that I and multiple other people that I know have left because the admin tells people that lettuce is a dangerous vegetable to feed your guinea pigs every day, and they will delete your comments and block you if you post otherwise. So if you're in that Facebook group, that's not true. Lettuce is not dangerous. If you fed them like a whole head of iceberg lettuce, they will probably get diarrhea and have health issues from that. But if you feed the correct amount of the correct type of lettuce, then it's definitely not dangerous. My favorite guinea pig cage size for a pair. So I have all my pigs are pairs. I really like a 2x5. That seems to work really well. It gives them enough space. It's really easy for me to keep clean. And they all seem to like have a good amount of space to get away from each other or run around, whatever they want to do. That's probably my favorite. Is romaine lettuce okay as a staple? Yes, romaine lettuce is fine. Some people have noticed that their pigs get a little bit like sludgy or pee because romaine lettuce does have a little bit more calcium than like red leaf or green leaf lettuce, but it's fine to use as a staple. If you see like really sludgy spots, really sludgy urine spots on your fleece, if you're using fleece or in your cage, try switching off of romaine, and if you see a difference, then it could be the romaine. But in general, romaine is fine. So I just had 2 guinea pigs pass, and I have no idea why they passed, but I've noticed that my 1 guinea pig has been acting differently. What do I do? Do you mean acting differently like confused because their friend is gone, or acting differently as in you think like they're sick? Because if they've been with other pigs for their whole life and then they're alone, they definitely are going to act different. They're going to be lonely and confused why they're by themselves. So that's kind of always a hard situation. I don't really have a good answer what to do in that situation either, because it's kind of a case-by-case basis. I would give them maybe a little bit of time and then try to find them a friend to distract them, possibly. But it kind of depends on your situation. How many veggies should rabbits have daily? Like, is 2 types of veggies enough, or would they need more? So I'm actually working on veggie lists for guinea pigs and rabbits because I know a lot of people, like there's a lot of veggie lists out there, but I know a lot of them are confusing because they just give you like calcium amounts and that sort of thing. But if you go on the House Rabbit Society website, so if you search, like just Google House Rabbit Society veggie list, they have a really good list on their website that tells you like feed these vegetables you can feed every day, these you can feed a couple of times a week, etc. So generally I like to have at least 3 different kinds of veggies just because it gives them variety and it mixes up the nutrients. So I give my bunnies cilantro, a little bit of lettuce, a little bit of kale, bok choy if we can find it. It's been kind of hit or miss lately. And then they usually get a little bit of green pepper, or sometimes they do. They don't like it a ton, but we will give them some. And I try to find them like herbs if I can. So with rabbits, variety is usually really good. They also get bored very easily with food. So if you can kind of mix it up, that's helpful. Guinea pigs are my favorite kind of animal to own, I would say, though I really like bunnies too. She probably is depressed. Sorry, I'm replying to the that we're talking about the pigs that passed away and the other one's acting different. She probably is depressed. I mean, she's had 2 friends and then she is alone now. She's probably kind of confused. Something you can try, actually, I've never done this, but I've heard other people do it. They will play like guinea pig videos so that the pig can hear other pigs, and then they think maybe other pigs are around, so you can see if she has a reaction to that. But I don't have a ton of advice for that because I haven't really been in that situation. Do you prefer guinea pigs or rabbits, and why? I don't know what to get. I'm leaning towards guinea pigs at the moment, but I don't know. So I always say that bunnies are a lifestyle pet. They are not a leave in a cage kind of pet. Like even with guinea pigs, they kind of just chill in their cage. Like, yeah, you interact with them and you take care of them and all that. But bunnies need a lot of attention. They need their environment set up to cater to them. They can't really just be in a cage and live their life. They need playtime. They need interaction from you. They need enrichment. So if you don't have a lot of time, then I would get guinea pigs. Well, and guinea pigs take time too. But I mean, like, coming in and spot cleaning the cages and taking 15 minutes, that's one thing, but I mean, the bunnies don't have a lot of day-to-day care, but I always come in to talk to them. I always come in and play with them. They come out and play in the other rooms of our house. So bunnies are very much like a lifestyle investment, and bunnies live, I don't know the high end, but bunnies live as long as a dog. Bunnies can live, 10, 12, 13 years, which is about double a guinea pig. So keep that in mind as well. Let's see. I had gotten my pigs from the pet store together and have had them for a year now, and they are bonding, but will rumble and fight sometimes. One is a skinny pig and will get scratches, maybe from herself or the other or both. So rumbling and arguing is normal. What do you mean by fighting? Are they like biting each other? Because if they're biting each other and leaving bite marks, then they probably shouldn't be together anymore. If one is a skinny pig and getting scratches, I would make sure that their nails are clipped, because that could be accidental. But if there's, skinny pigs don't really like scratch. That's not really a thing they do. They're probably scratching themselves. But that kind of depends. I don't recommend separating guinea pigs unless they draw blood on each other. Because a lot of people seem to think, I've seen lately a lot of people say that like, my guinea pigs bonded well, but they're still rumbling at each other, or they're still chasing each other, and that's totally normal. Guinea pigs will always chase each other. They'll always rumble at each other. They'll always push each other with their noses. It's drawing blood that is the deciding factor. Or if one of them is bullying the other one so bad that it's losing weight and isn't getting access to food. So okay, let's see. Yes, rabbits are more expensive than guinea pigs. Their vet costs alone are, like, if you take a rabbit to a vet versus a guinea pig, it's always more expensive because they're larger animals. Rabbits eat a lot more hay. They eat a lot more veggies. So that is something to take into consideration. I'm not trying to say rabbits aren't great pets, because they are, but they definitely, like, you have to be ready for them, because they're a little bit like having kids sometimes. Not that I haven't had kids, but sometimes, like, if there's something that a rabbit can get into that they, like, it depends on your rabbit, because Andy is very smart. Like, Andy is smarter than a lot of cats, to be honest. And people, I don't know where he went. Oh, I could hear him. If he can find a place that he knows he's not supposed to be and I'm not watching, he'll get into it. So that's also something to take into consideration. Are guinea pigs and rabbits safe outside? It really depends. If you're in the United States, generally I say no, but it can depend. Usually the weather is not okay. Guinea pigs and rabbits in general should be like 65, 70-ish degrees. But like, that's a very slim part of the year where I live. It gets a lot hotter a lot of places, but I know that in like in the UK, keeping bunnies and guinea pigs outside is very common, but their weather is a lot more mild than a lot of places in the United States. Like in the UK, they don't have air conditioning in a lot of places because it doesn't get that hot. So it kind of just depends, especially with our, I always say the acronym wrong, RHDV going around right now, which I talked about a little bit earlier. There's not vaccines easily available in the United States for that, and it is available in other countries. So I personally would not be okay with leaving my pets outside full time. There's just too many variables and too many predators and other people that could access them. So. Okay. Some of the pigs are awake. Here, I can show you Johnny. Can you see him drinking from his water? What you doing, big man? He got a haircut recently and a bum bath. and I had to do some board cleaning, so he wasn't happy. Hello, sir. I'm showing you off. I feel like you know, because you're kind of frozen. Kind of frozen. Okay, well, I've been on here forever, so I'll answer a couple more questions, and then I'll figure out another date for another live, and I will post that out there for you guys. Hello. I think you just came up behind me. I have no idea if rabbits and guinea pigs are okay outside in Australia. I don't live in Australia, so I don't really know. I don't know the situation there. My name is Allison. Hi, welcome to my stream. The rats are doing really well. I am working on starting to train Ollie to kind of like, when I do this and go like this, he'll like come up into my hand. So they're coming out of their shell. Noodle's still very timid, but we're working with him. I think he just wasn't handled well. So, but they're doing really well. We're giving them like more playtime now so they can get out of their cage. Well, not so much Noodle. He doesn't want to. Noodle's very content to lay in his Sputnik. But him and Ollie play a lot more now. They'll wrestle, they'll chase each other around their cage. So they're definitely a lot more comfortable. They're doing really well. I think they probably weren't handled well. I think they came from a home with kids possibly, because they're like Ollie's outgoing, but Noodle definitely like seems like he's afraid of being held. So I'm just working with him as much as I can. How do you get guinea pigs to use water bottles? I've never had a guinea pig not use a water bottle. I've just given them to them and they've used them. I would assume that it's something that they watch other pigs do as babies. So they don't have to use water bottles, though. You could give them a water bowl. They'll know how to drink out of a water bowl. That's just instinct. So, all right, guys. Well, we are an hour and 20 minutes into this, so I'm going to go ahead and end the live for today. But again, I will post another one and I will schedule one. So it will be up so that like there's an actual scheduled live out there for you to like get a reminder and whatnot. So, but yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. If you have any other questions or anything, again, feel free to DM me on Instagram, message me. However, I respond to pretty much all comments and questions that I get. So feel free to do that, but I will see you guys next time. Bye.